Now we are going to discuss the theme, the content of Gardiner's essay, The Rule of the Road. This essay is elegant, humorous, and forceful. The essayist starts this essay with a simple incident. A lady, a stout old lady, has a basket in her hand and she is walking in the middle of the road in Petrograd. Someone asks her, "Why are you walking in the middle of the road?" She does not care for the problems of the traffic, and so she does not bother for her own safety, her own security. She is liberty drunk. I remember some lines of Alexander Dumas. He says, "I am the monarch of all I survey. My right there is none to dispute." That stout old lady feels like that emperor, feels like that monarch. And she says, no one has the right to disturb her. She is walking in the middle of the road carelessly. The writer comments, if the car drivers start driving the cars on the pavement, and if the people start walking in the middle of the road, what will happen? There would be a complete chaos. There would be a complete anarchy. So, nobody has right to be liberty drunk. If rights are granted to individuals for the sake of the safety of the society, some rights must be curtailed also. Individual liberty is essential, but at the same time, social liberty is essential also. The writer speaks of an incident near the Piccadilly Circus. A policeman is standing in the middle of the road. He is raising his finger. He is stopping some passengers and he is allowing some passengers to go ahead. That policeman is not the symbol of tyranny. He is the symbol of liberty. He is establishing law and order in the society. If that policeman does not stand at the Piccadilly Circus, nobody will be able to cross the road. Everything will become topsy and turvy. Topsy-turvy. Everything will turn turtle. So, for a smooth function of the society, there must be some law and order. The writer speaks of the personal matters. He tells us humorously that you have the right to live your life in your own way. A male may wear the dresses of a female. A female may wear the dresses of a male. You have your own likes and dislikes. You may eat anything according to your choice. You may eat mutton. You may eat chicken. You may eat anything. You may be a Catholic. You may be a Protestant. You have a right to believe in any religion. You can learn moral lessons from any religion. You may marry a dark lady. You may marry a fair lady. Or you may read anything. You may read an American writer. You may read a British writer. He refers to Ella Wheeler Wilcox. Ella Wheeler Wilcox is an American female poet. She was a very sensitive poet. Her famous line is, "Laugh, the world laughs with you. Weep, you will weep alone." It means during happy days, everybody is your friend. During rainy days, nobody bothers for you. Nobody is your friend. So, the essayist says, you may like this American poet, or you may like Wordsworth. Wordsworth is a great romantic poet. He is a poet of nature. He is a poet of humanity. He finds some soul in nature. He finds the presence of divinity in nature. And this presence of divinity in nature creates a new kind of religion, and that is called pantheism. So the world is full of great authors, great poets. So you may like this poet, you may like that poet. You may like several types of drinks. You may beer wine, you may drink wine, you may drink coffee. So in personal matters, you have right to do anything. In your closed room, do anything of your own choice, anything of your own desire. But when you go out of your room, when you go in the street, when you go in the society, you will have to follow some rules. The essayist tells us about an instrument, trombone. Trombone is an instrument which has harsh voice. This instrument does not produce melodious voice. He says, if you want to blow trombone, close the room and blow it. If you go to the bedroom, your wife will object. If you go to other rooms, your parents and children will object. If you go to the estates, the neighbors will object. So you have the right to blow a trombone, but you have no right to disturb others. Now, the essayist says that once he was traveling in a train. He got into the train, sat on a berth, and he was reading a blue book. A blue book is a very serious almanac. It deals with the expenses and expenditure of any company. And the writer was reading this book for earning something. So he was not reading it for pleasure. He was reading it seriously. Some passengers were also traveling in the train. One of the passengers was very energetic. He was full of ebullience. He was very talkative. Throughout his journey, he kept talking. The everlasting rotation of his tongue. Sometimes he spoke of the First World War. He told that it was unfair. Germany trampled Belgium. What should the French do? What should be the motives of other countries? And the writer was getting extremely disturbed. The writer says that he was not reading for pleasure. He was seriously engrossed with the blue book. For pleasure, you may read Tristram Shandy. You may read Treasure Island. Tristram Shandy is a comic epic in prose. Its humor is bawdy and it deals with the life and adventures of Tristram Shandy. Treasure Island is a book written for little children. It's a book of adventure. So you can read these two books for pleasure, for entertainment, for amusement. The writer says humorously, even if an earthquake takes place, I would not leave these two books. I'll keep reading them. But when there is some sort of turmoil, when there is some sort of loud voice, I cannot read a blue book. So, again here, he tells that passenger was disturbing the writer. He did not bother for the writer at all. That man, he says, was not a clubbable man. He had no courtesy, he had no civility, he had no good manners. He did not bother for others. So, this type of person is an impediment, is a hindrance for the society. He must learn how to live in the society. The writer says, a reasonable consideration for the rights or feelings of others is the foundation of social conduct. Now, the writer speaks of the habits, the attitudes of men and women. The feminists today might not like the views of A.G. Gardiner. The feminist will react strongly. They will call A.G. Gardiner an MCP, a male chauvinistic pig. Gardiner says that women are less civilized, less courteous, less cultured than men. When men live in the society, they are well cultured, they are well groomed, they are well mannered, they bother for others. When they go to buy a ticket, they come in a queue. And when the women go to buy a ticket, they don't come in a queue. They make their own queue and they want to buy a ticket as soon as possible. Gardiner says men have been trained in schools, they have been trained in hospitals, in gyms, in society, how to behave politely, how to behave with civility. But women have not learned all these things. A time will come when women will be able to learn all these things. So, if men and women are equally civilized, are equally cultured, the society will become a paradise. The society will be a place full of pleasure and happiness. Next, the writer speaks of trombone once again. He says that a man cannot come outside and he must not blow a trumpet. If he is blowing a trumpet loudly, he is disturbing the whole society. He must follow the principles of the society, the ideals of the society. He should not disturb other people. He must be a peaceful man. He must be a polite man. He should not follow the footsteps of Nietzsche. Nietzsche was a great philosopher, a great poet, a great author of Germany. He was the father of Nazism and fascism. He gave the servant master theory, and it is due to his philosophy that Germany has started the First World War and Germany has started the Second World War. So the brain behind the war was Nietzsche. So the writer is not approving the philosophy of Nietzsche. He says that Hazlitt, a great essayist, he is also of the view that if you want to blow a trumpet, if you want to blow a trombone, go to your bedroom, close the window and do it. You should not disturb others. Now, the essayist is given an example, a special example. Somebody is playing a piano in the street. A man does not like the tone, the sweet tone of piano. He goes outside and he tells the piano player, please don't play the instrument here. You go outside, you go somewhere or play piano. After some time, a lady, she has romantic temperament. She likes music, melodious music. She goes outside and she requests the piano player to play a very sweet song, to play a very melodious song. The man does not like the piano player. The woman likes the piano player. In such cases, who will give a final solution? Who will give the answer to the question? Again, the essayist says that I leave this for Sancho Panza. Sancho Panza is a character in Don Quixote, written by Cervantes. Cervantes was a Spanish novelist, and his famous book, reputed book, Don Quixote, is a comic epic in prose. Cervantes influenced so many writers of the world. Tom Jones was written on this model. Sancho Panza is a squire to Don Quixote. Sancho Panza is illiterate. He is not educated at all. But the writer tells humorously that he is proud of his illiteracy. He is proud of his blank mind. But living in the company of Don Quixote for a longer period of time, he gets the wisdom of the world. He gets pragmatic knowledge. And he is a symbol of practicality over idealism. Idealism is a vision which is never achieved. But practicality is an idea which can be achieved, which can be implemented into reality. So, writer gives the solution, lifts the solution to Sancho Panza. And in the last paragraphs of the essay, the writer says that, A.G. Gardiner says that, he is not an anarchist. He is not a socialist. He is a compromise between the two. An anarchist is a person who does not believe in law and order, who wants to create some sort of chaos in the society. And a socialist is a person who wants peace and progress for everyone. Marx gave the theory of communism. Communism simply means each according to his capacity, each according to his ability. If you are an engineer, the state will give you a job of an engineer. If you are a doctor, the state is bound to give you the job of a doctor. But when we talk of socialism, socialism simply means each according to his need. It means if you are a doctor, if you are an engineer, it does not matter. Even a simple man has the right to live a happy life. His basic needs must be fulfilled by the society. Again, the writer says, I am not a Marxist. I am not a follower of Tolstoy. I am a compromise between the two. It means I like some ideas of Marx. At the same time, I like some ideas of Tolstoy. And the ideas of these great personalities are beneficial for the society, are very useful for common beings. And at last, the writer says, I would like to read some important lines from the essay. He says, it is in the small matters of conduct, in the observance of the rule of the road, that we pass judgment upon ourselves and declare that we are civilized or uncivilized. The great movements of heroism and sacrifice are rare. It means if you follow the rules of the road, if you say please and thank you, if you are courteous, if you are civilized, if you bother for the social liberty, if you care for others, you are going to establish a very civilized society. Thank you very much.